how many stars have chased eternal youth only to lose themselves in the process? In the glittering world of fame, where cameras never blink and beauty is currency, even the most iconic faces can fall victim to their own insecurities. What begins as a simple enhancement can transform into an endless cycle of procedures and profound regret. Today, we explore the celebrities who pursued perfection so relentlessly that they ended up destroying the very thing that made them special. Linda Evangelista. Throughout the 1990s, Linda Evangelista didn't just walk runways, she owned them. With over 700 magazine covers to her name, she became the living definition of supermodel excellence. Her presence radiated confidence, sophistication, and an almost untouchable beauty that shaped an entire generation's understanding of glamour. But beneath that picture-perfect exterior, a decision was waiting that would alter everything. In 2015, Linda opted for cool sculpting, a popular non-surgical procedure designed to freeze away unwanted fat cells. The treatment had gained massive popularity among celebrities, marketed as a quick, safe alternative to traditional liposuction with zero recovery time. For Linda, it seemed like a harmless way to address minor concerns. What could possibly go wrong with something so widely accepted? Everything, as it turned out. After completing 7 treatment sessions, Linda noticed something terrifying. Instead of the promised slimming effect, the treated areas began doing the exact opposite. Her chin, thighs, and chest started hardening and expanding, creating bulging, misshapen masses beneath her skin. Medical experts eventually identified her condition as paradoxical adipose hyperplasia, a devastating complication that occurs in fewer than 1 in every 100 patients. Linda had become that unlucky statistic, and the consequences were catastrophic. She underwent 2 corrective liposuction procedures in 2016 and 2017, desperately trying to reverse the damage. But some transformations cannot be undone. The physical agony was unbearable, yet it paled in comparison to the psychological devastation. This was a woman who once famously declared she wouldn't even leave her bed for less than $10,000 a day. Now, she quietly confessed to the world, "I've been brutally disfigured." Overwhelmed by shame and grief, Linda retreated from the industry that had once worshipped her. She avoided cameras, skipped fashion events, and even distanced herself from longtime friends. The face that had launched 1,000 campaigns simply disappeared from view. Today, Linda has emerged from the shadows with remarkable courage. She's returned to modeling, not hiding her story, but embracing it with raw honesty. She's become an advocate for awareness, speaking openly about the dangers lurking behind seemingly safe cosmetic treatments and championing the radical idea of self-acceptance. The woman who once embodied physical perfection has transformed into something far more powerful, a symbol of survival, resilience, and authentic beauty. Kenny Rogers. For over 60 years, Kenny Rogers stood as a pillar of American music and culture. His distinctive gravelly voice and genuine presence made songs like The Gambler and Islands in the Stream into timeless classics. He represented authenticity, masculinity, and down-home charm. But during the 1990s, the pressures of remaining visible in an increasingly youth-obsessed entertainment industry pushed Rogers toward a choice that would fundamentally change how the world saw him. As the decades accumulated, the legendary country singer began feeling the cruel spotlight of an industry that worships youth and discards age. High-definition television brought every line and wrinkle into sharp focus. Photographers captured every sign of time passing. Surrounded by this constant scrutiny, Kenny made the decision to try cosmetic surgery. It started reasonably enough with a facelift, followed by eyelid surgery. The goal was simple: look a little fresher, a little younger. The results, however, were anything but simple. Rather than refreshing his appearance, the procedures left Kenny looking fundamentally different. His once rugged, expressive face became unnaturally smooth and tight. His eyebrows arched upward in a look of permanent surprise. The natural masculinity that had defined his image for decades vanished beneath surgical alterations. Fans were stunned. Critics unleashed harsh commentary. The overwhelming response was disbelief. That doesn't even look like Kenny anymore. Behind closed doors, Kenny himself struggled with what he saw in the mirror. He no longer recognized the man staring back at him. In subsequent interviews, he spoke with genuine regret about his decision. "I wish I hadn't done it," he admitted openly. "I just wanted to look a little younger, but I ended up losing what made me, me. I lost my natural masculinity." While the physical scars eventually faded, the emotional impact remained.
No,
really, why did you do it?
I don't know. I had the money to do it and I had time off. you look at yourself and you go, could I be better if I did this or I did that? And I did it, and the guy who did it was one of the world's best. But he just had this concept that the edge of your eyes had to be higher than a certain place. And I regret that, but the truth is, I don't know what I would have looked like if I hadn't done it. I mean, I could be all down here, so.
But through it all, the one thing that never changed was his voice. That gift stayed pure and powerful. Rogers continued creating music, performing for devoted audiences, and connecting with fans until his death in 2020 at the age of 81. Even transformed by surgery, his music carried the deep wisdom of a man who had truly lived and learned that time cannot be conquered, only accepted. Lisa Rinna. Long before she became a household name on reality television, Lisa Rinna was a young woman with Hollywood dreams and a desire to stand out. At just 20 years old, captivated by the glamorous images she saw in movies like Beaches, she made a choice that would define her appearance for the next quarter century. In 1986, she received permanent silicone lip injections, believing they would give her a signature look that would set her apart. For many years, the gamble seemed to pay off. Her dramatically full lips became instantly recognizable, her trademark feature that everyone associated with her smile. She built a career partly on that distinctive look, but permanence, as she would learn, comes with consequences. As time marched forward, the silicone began betraying her. It hardened into painful lumps and created uneven, irregular shapes. What had once been her greatest asset became a source of daily discomfort and distress. After living with the complications for nearly 25 years, Lisa finally sought help in 2010 from a Beverly Hills surgeon who attempted to remove the damaged tissue. The surgery provided some relief from the physical pain, but it couldn't completely restore what had been lost. In private, she wrestled with her reflection, seeing a face that felt increasingly foreign. Yet Lisa didn't stop there. She continued exploring other cosmetic options. More fillers, Botox injections, breast augmentations. Gradually, her appearance evolved into something tighter, less natural, less spontaneous. The warmth and animated energy that had made her so appealing began disappearing behind an increasingly frozen facade. Fans started noticing something was off. The vibrancy had been replaced by stiffness. Criticism mounted both in tabloids and across social media platforms. By 2024, after years of speculation and increasingly harsh online commentary, Lisa finally broke her silence. "Some of those fillers weren't right for me," she acknowledged publicly. "I had to have them dissolved." Her candor surprised many observers, but it also revealed the enormous emotional cost of maintaining Hollywood beauty standards.
I don't care what actress you put in front of me right now, I could absolutely tell you she's had something done, but don't we all color our hair? Don't we all do that sort of thing? So I don't know where you draw the line. I mean, is it okay to have a laser? What is plastic surgery? You know, plastic surgery to me is cutting. I've never had so-called plastic surgery. I've never had a facelift. I've never had anybody cut my face.
Is that a line for you? Is that a thing you wouldn't do?
Not at all.
Today, Lisa remains active in entertainment, but she's shifting her focus from perfection toward authenticity. The young woman who once sought a small enhancement to boost her confidence has become an unintended cautionary tale about the industry's relentless obsession with youth, proving that the boundary between self-improvement and self-destruction can be as thin as a syringe needle. Joan Van Ark. During the golden age of primetime soap operas in the 1970s and 80s, Joan Van Ark captured America's heart. Her portrayal of Valine Ewing on Knots Landing turned her into a television icon. She possessed an angelic face, warm eyes, and a radiant smile that embodied everything beautiful about classic Hollywood elegance. But as the years began to show themselves, that same cherished face became an obsession she couldn't control. In the early 1990s, Joan underwent her first rhinoplasty, a minor adjustment that most people barely noticed. But that single procedure opened a door she could never quite close. What started as one small change snowballed into an avalanche of surgeries. Multiple facelifts, eyelid surgeries, endless Botox injections, and aggressive chemical peels. Each time she detected a new wrinkle or sign of aging, she rushed back for another procedure, desperately trying to stop time itself. The results were devastating. Her once luminous complexion became pale and waxy. Her skin stretched unnaturally tight. Her expressions froze into place. The same high-definition cameras that had once loved her now cruelly revealed every surgical alteration. The overly taut skin, the hollowed eyes, the smile that no longer moved with natural emotion. By the early 2000s, her dramatically changed appearance became tabloid obsession. Headlines screamed, "What happened to Joan Van Ark?" Journalists dissected every public appearance. Though she consistently denied going too far, the evidence was undeniable. Decades of procedures had stripped away not just her youth, but also the natural warmth and expressiveness that had made her so captivating in the first place. In 2020, during the 40th anniversary reunion of Knots Landing, longtime fans were shocked by what they saw. Joan appeared nearly unrecognizable, her face stretched and fragile under the harsh lights, bearing the unmistakable marks of decades spent battling the inevitable. Today, Joan maintains a lower public profile, appearing occasionally at charity functions and reunion events. Despite the criticism and speculation, she remains proud of her body of work and the impact she made on television history. Her story serves as a haunting testament that the war against aging is unwinnable. And sometimes the most beautiful thing anyone can do is simply allow themselves to grow older with grace and dignity. Cayetana Fitz-James Stewart. For centuries, Spain's House of Alba represented the pinnacle of aristocratic power, immense wealth, and noble heritage. But no member of this illustrious dynasty fascinated the world quite like Maria del Rosario Cayetana Fitz-James Stewart y Silva, the 18th Duchess of Alba. Known for her eccentric personality and staggering fortune, she held more than 40 noble titles, making her the most titled aristocrat on earth. She possessed everything money could possibly purchase, except the one thing she wanted most: eternal youth. During the 1980s, as European society celebrated her flamboyant charm and unconventional style, Cayetana launched her private war against the aging process. When the first wrinkles emerged, an army of surgeons appeared. It began with a straightforward nose job, then escalated to multiple facelifts, lip fillers, and countless rounds of Botox. Each surgeon promised to restore her youth, yet each procedure pulled her further from the refined grace that had once been her birthright. Over the years, her aristocratic beauty transformed into something tight, shiny, and deeply unnatural. Complicating matters further, she was diagnosed with Melkerson-Rosenthal syndrome, a rare medical condition that causes chronic facial swelling. Desperate to conceal these effects, she underwent even more aggressive surgeries, procedures that ultimately made everything worse. Her skin lost all elasticity. Her facial expressions became permanently fixed. The elegant features that had once turned heads across Europe vanished beneath layer upon layer of cosmetic intervention. Yet the Duchess remained utterly defiant. In 2011, at the remarkable age of 85, she shocked international society by marrying a man 24 years her junior. The wedding generated headlines around the globe, though most focused not on the romance, but on her dramatically altered appearance. Some praised her fearless determination to live life on her own terms. Others quietly pitied what she had become. Cayetana Fitz-James Stewart passed away in 2014, leaving behind sprawling estates, magnificent palaces, and a legacy that will never be forgotten. But her life ultimately stands as a powerful reminder that even the wealthiest and most privileged among us cannot purchase what truly matters: youth, time, or peace with one's own reflection. La Toya Jackson. Born into perhaps the most famous family in entertainment history, La Toya Jackson spent her entire life under intense scrutiny, constantly being compared to her siblings, especially her legendary brother Michael. During the 1980s, she worked hard to establish her own identity as a singer, actress, and model. Her album, My Special Love, gave her chart success, and for a brief period, she was seen as the more approachable, relatable Jackson sibling. But as her fame increased, so did her insecurities. The overwhelming pressure to maintain perfection, combined with watching Michael's own dramatic physical transformation, set La Toya on a similar path. By the late 1980s, she underwent her first rhinoplasty, intended to refine and enhance her features. The change was immediately noticeable and quickly became a subject of public fascination and speculation. More surgeries followed throughout the 1990s. Additional nose jobs, facelifts, cheek implants, chin enhancements, and lip fillers. With each procedure, she drifted further and further from her natural appearance. Her skin became increasingly tight and expressionless. Her nose grew narrower and more pinched. Her once soft, genuine smile transformed into something stiff and artificial. The tabloids cruelly nicknamed her the broken porcelain doll. Inevitably, comparisons to Michael resurfaced. Here were two siblings, both transformed by the same impossible pursuit of perfection, both struggling with the same demons of self-image and acceptance.
We'll go in history saying that he was terribly unhappy with his nose. It's like, is it too big? Is it too big? The two of us going to the doctor and talking to him, I was right there through every step. But Michael got his nose done and he was happy. Does it look better? Yeah, it looks better.
In subsequent years, LaToya became an unintended symbol of Hollywood's toxic obsession with appearance. Every television appearance reignited conversations about the true cost of fame and the extremes people will go to in pursuit of an unattainable ideal. Yet behind all the headlines and speculation was simply a woman struggling with her identity. Someone searching for acceptance in the mirror rather than finding it within herself. Today, in her late 60s, LaToya lives a quieter existence, making occasional television appearances and supporting projects that honor her family's remarkable legacy. Her story stands as a poignant reflection on the Jackson family's greatest paradox, a dynasty that achieved absolutely everything except genuine self-acceptance. Goldie Hawn. For more than 50 years, Goldie Hawn represented pure, unfiltered joy in American cinema. Her infectious laughter, sparkling blue eyes, and effortless charm made her one of the most beloved actresses of the 1970s and 80s. She didn't need to work at being likable. Her light was natural, spontaneous, and genuinely warm. But time, Hollywood's cruelest judge, spares absolutely no one, not even its brightest stars. As the years accumulated, Goldie began feeling the enormous weight of an industry that's obsessed with youth and terrified of aging. In the early 2000s, she turned to cosmetic procedures for help. Initially, just small adjustments, some cheek fillers, a bit of Botox around her eyes, minor facelifts. But as happens so often, one procedure created the desire for another. In attempting to preserve the face that audiences had fallen in love with, she slowly lost the natural expressiveness that had defined her unique beauty. Her transformation became impossible to ignore in 2014 when she appeared at the Academy Awards. Cameras captured a face that looked puffy, tight, and frozen in an expression of permanent surprise. Experts immediately began speculating about excessive Botox, multiple facelifts, and aggressive eyelid surgery. The smoothness of her skin had come at a devastating cost: the loss of warmth. The radiant smile that had once illuminated entire movie screens now seemed forced and artificial. When Goldie returned to film in 2017's comedy Snatched, longtime fans noticed something crucial was missing. That spontaneous spark, that natural magic that had made her special, had disappeared. Her face barely moved. Her expressions felt restrained and controlled, as if trapped behind an invisible mask. What was meant to be a symbol of eternal youth had become a cautionary story about the dangers of chasing it too aggressively. Today, Goldie lives a quieter but deeply fulfilling life with her longtime partner, Kurt Russell. She focuses on her family, including her daughter, actress Kate Hudson, and dedicates herself to her mental health foundation, Mind Up.
I'd made sort of a life plan and be happy, because that's what I wanted, happiness, family.
Though time has undeniably changed her face, her heart, her spirit, and her infectious laughter remain absolutely timeless. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss our new videos. See you next time.